Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak, your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening energy coach, coming into your life from Ontario, Canada, as my calling, my soul's purpose has been to help women, and in so many different ways, but it really does come to this one key root, and that is to help women get their shit together so they can break free from that mental prison they find themselves in and build a business and a life that they're not only proud of but are excited to wake up to every single day. And that's why today I am doing a little bit of a different topic that I have not done yet before, and that is to help you discover who you are, help you discover who you truly are, and help you to start to embrace every one of those roles fully. Because as humans, as women, we all play different roles in our lives. And this is one of the biggest reasons why we can find ourselves stressed, overwhelmed, sad, depressed, anxious, and in full panic mode. Because it just gets so difficult to keep up with all of these roles, all of these actresses that we feel like we need to be with everyone and for everyone. So starting at the root, at the core, for all of us is going to be key to identify who we want to be and what kind of life we want to live going forward. So this actually came from the program that I had taken, and I've talked about this program numerous times, and I will continue talking about it, even though I wasn't the one that created the program, but I was the one that has gone through the program, hired a coach and gone through the program alongside my coach. I don't think I wrote the year when I did this program, whereas now, like, I should have written the year, but I can go back and find. At this point, I would say, actually, I have the year. Look at that. I'm so smart sometimes. I surprise myself. June 13, 2019 was the day that I started doing the workbook for this program. That means I already listened to the CD a couple of times. The first one in the program is called The Law of Being. And then following this program, I ended up enrolling into the coach training program that was created by the same man who created this program. Initially, he created a coach training program that is now known worldwide. And after having gone through the coach training program, I earned access and the right to take other people, women, through this program as well. So, which means that I've taken quite a few women through this program at this point, and I have as one-on-one individuals and as groups as well. So each time I have taken a woman through it, I ended up going through it myself, because it's not something that you can just not revisit, not refresh, because it is a quite powerful program. So I only share the itty bitty part of it to help you see what it is and what it's about just a little bit. But honestly, the biggest reason why is because I know that this part of, like, this exercise of discovering who you truly are and starting to understand who you are in a different way that you previously have probably ever experienced. So let me move the camera just slightly back, okay, so I can open up my book here for the actual notebook filled, not the notebook, but the book filled out. So I actually was one of the, at this point, this program is actually digital. So unfortunately and fortunately, you would not get one of these books, a physical book. You would get a digital book, and you wouldn't get a binder, a really big, massive binder for all of your things as well. But I did. And at this point, most people don't care for these things because they take up space, and it's easier to even do things on the go as you're moving from one place to another, right? Because we're all just busy bees. So I have my own notes from the exercise as well, just the itty bitty part. And then the way that I actually did this program, the way that worked for me was having the physical notes written out, and then I also did videos for myself to answer all these questions and all these workbook things in here. Okay, so to help you discover who you truly are, this is going to be the exercise. I'll just go right into the exercise and we will go from there. I want you to get a piece of paper out. If you want to do it now, great. You can do it also later. It's also great. So however you want to do this, whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay, you can let me know. And I do recommend pausing when you can. So get a piece of paper out, and you are going to basically have 3 columns. And I mean, for some of you, you might want to do, just giving an idea of how you can do, you can have 3 different pages and lay them out. So you have, in a way, like column 1, column 2, column 3, and then you can even connect them if you want, because this exercise you can refer to at any given point later in time to help you remember and remind you of who you are and who you're not. So each and every one of us, we are living in this world where we're either happy with it or we're not happy with all the experience outside of our body. The things that we go through, our experiences that we go through, even our thoughts and emotions, those are actually the ones that create that external world. And the various aspects of your world are actually reflections of who you are being. And this is the interesting part, which most of you are already aware of, is that who you are being, most of that is unconscious because you're not even aware who you're being. It's almost like you have music playing in the background that is singing your tune of who you are, your default program, but you don't hear it anymore because it completely fades into the background noise because you're so used to it. That's why you don't hear it anymore. So this is what happens with all of us, and me included, as I am a human being just like you, that there's certain parts of myself that I'm still not aware of, and I become aware of them each and every time I am annoyed, I'm triggered, one of my buttons is pushed, or I go through something new in my life, and many different ways, right? So in other words, whenever we're given the opportunity to dive within and hear ourselves and understand ourselves, that is when we get to choose how we want to go forward. And we'll become consciously aware of who we are being and that default program, and choose to continue be that version of ourselves, or identify who we actually are at our core and do that. So what we're going to do in this exercise, as I mentioned, you're going to have 3 columns. So I'll actually show you. Let me open up and take out the page from my notebook. So what you're going to do is, this is my exercise. Let me do it so it's the rest of the things are not distracting. Okay, so this was my exercise, right? On one column, you're going to write your role. And then in the other column, what you're going to do is, one column is going to be where your true self shines, and the other column is where your true self hides. So here's basically an example. Your role. I want you to think of all the roles that you play in your life. So roles like mother, friend, best friend, granddaughter, a spouse, pet owner, worker or employee, or business owner. Maybe you're a volunteer. Maybe there's some other roles, any role that comes to mind of what you are doing, and there is, in one shape or form, there's someone there on the other side. So think of those roles that you play. So your role as a mother, right? And this is where, looking back at my responses, I was lying to myself as well. So I don't want you to lie to yourself. Okay? So don't make the mistake of lying to yourself because you want the honest answer for you. So my role as a mother, I put true self shines. And this is where I wasn't lying to myself. This is where my true self was shining, and I was open and honest and authentic and being myself with my kids. As a homemaker, I put my true self shines, but it wasn't shining. It was hiding. I didn't even know what I was doing, why, and I was not happy with being a homemaker and being a stay-at-home mom. A role as a wife, I put my true self shines. I was also lying because I didn't even understand what shining actually meant. I thought that the way that I was understanding at that time was, and this is why I had this exercise, and then when my coach took me through it, and that's when I started to understand the deeper meaning of this particular exercise, is that as a wife, my true self was not shining. I was hiding. And this is actually a perfect example of how I was hiding. And here's how I'll tell you why this is a perfect example, is because in my mind, I wanted, just in case my husband came across this page, this paper, I wanted to look and appear as the perfect wife, the perfect person. So how true and authentic was that of me? Not at all. I was not doing anyone an injustice by lying to myself on this exercise, during this exercise. So as a wife, I put down that my true self shines, where my true self was hiding. And this is how I'll help you to differentiate. Think of all the times that you, on all the roles that you play or you do in your life. When are you the most authentic version of yourself? Where you say what you want to say, you do what you want to do, you don't hold back. You don't just say things just to make someone feel good or better. You actually speak your truth, and you feel comfortable, you feel whole, you feel a certain sense of fulfillment as well. And because you are being yourself, you feel free. When you are not being your true self, when your true self hides, you don't feel free, you feel trapped. And all of that happens in your mind. That is not necessarily the reality of other people in your life or how they see things, but this is how you see things and experience things, and therefore it would feel like it is your reality. So as an entrepreneur and a network marketer, this is where I said that my true self hides. And that was the truth, because it was hiding. And then as a friend, my true self shines. And this is where it would be dependent on who the friend is. Because with some friends, I felt like I had to tiptoe and be nice and polite and not say what I really want to say, but say it in a really nice and gentle way, so that way not really be helpful in the end. Because when a friend asks you for help or they're going through something, my job as a friend, and this is how you can tell if your friend is real or not, by the way, and it takes time to learn this. So your true friend, your real friend, will tell you the truth. They won't hold things back. They will tell you all the things that, essentially, if you ask them, what are my flaws? What can I improve on? A true friend will tell you exactly what it is. They might even say, okay, let's get a piece of paper, let's get this down, let's help you to identify all these areas of improvement for you, and then how you're going to get there, and then I'll help you to get there. This is essentially also a coach, but what a friend would do, they would honestly tell you. Whereas someone who is not your true friend, they won't tell you the truth. They will only say nice things to you. They will boost you up. They'll make you feel good, but never actually tell you anything negative. So those who are very positive, very friendly, and only boosting you up, they're not your true friends. They're your foes. And those who are open and honest, because they know the value of that, and they know that this is what a true friend would do, this is what a real friend would do, is tell you the truth, because you wouldn't be asking otherwise, because you need them to be open and honest, so they will be. So just a little bit of, the friends, to help you identify who are true friends and who are not, and also to help you identify who you want to be true friends with and have real friendships with, and others who you don't have those friendships with, and perhaps you don't want to, right? And we need all of those people as well, because it's great to have people who are just boosting us up, kissing our ass, so to speak, but not tell us the truth. And then it's also great to have the others who just tell us for what it is and don't hold back. I got quite a few of those, and just a couple of the other ones, which are still friends, but different kind of a friend. Okay. And see, I actually wrote on here, not sure what true self is yet, right? So this is where you don't even know that what or who your true self is. So that's the little exercise where you're going to write your role on, and opposite of that, you're going to put a check mark. Your true self shines and your true self hides. As a mother, is your true self shining or is it hiding? It's possible, it's usually just one, not the other. But certain areas, and this is where you can get even deeper, for example, with one of your children, your true self might be hiding, and then with the other one, it might not be. And if you want to go even deeper, journal about, and this is through journaling, you can really start to identify how your true self shines and how your true self hides, and why. And you get to see your own areas of improvement for you as well. Often we don't let our true selves shine. For each role above, indicate whether you let your true self shine or not, which I would invite you to do. So now, the other part is, in every role where your true self shines already, I want you to write down how your true self can shine even more in each and every one of those roles. How can you shine more as a mother? How can you shine more as a homemaker, a home taker, or a mother, or wife, or business owner, or entrepreneur? How can your true self shine more in those roles? And in the other roles where your true self hides, I want you to write what aspects of your role hold you back from being your true self. So what areas or aspects of your role that are holding you back from being your true self in that role? Hey Rebecca, how are you doing? Beautiful. Rebecca says, I don't think my true self shines in any area of my life. I would beg to differ. All of us have an area or a space in our life where our true self shines. It could be even just a specific connection with a person where you are open and honest and your true self. So when I wrote down, for example, with a friend, and I put my true self shines, I was more so focused on specific friend or specific friendships where my true self was shining, because the mind is that amazing that it is able to isolate. So it's able to isolate, because I'm going to try to jump to a different point that I want to make. With whom, when it comes to a friend, just thinking of these friends and forgetting all the others. So when it comes to a friend, you can write each friend's name to help you see with who your true self shines and with whom it hides. Because this is where you can, I want you to start believing in yourself. And then this is not just for Rebecca, this is for anyone else who is watching or listening to this podcast. Get your shit together with myself, Yana Kasperczak. I forget to mention what the title of the title of the podcast is as well. I want you to, so if you're in the same place or the same boat as Rebecca, where you don't think that your true self shines in any areas of your life, I want you to narrow down each one. When it comes to a mother and you have more than one kid, with each kid, so you can see where you shine or how you shine or how you hide. With a friend, same thing. You know, as a wife, I'm sure you mirror to just one husband, one partner, so it's just one. There's not more than that. As a co-worker, different people there as well, to see with whom, or in a more narrowing down of the roles, you are your true self and you shine, and where or with whom you don't. And then Rebecca says, maybe only in the sacred circle, only time. In my real life, there's no one. So in the sacred circle, there are quite a few women in there as well. So thinking of each and every woman with who, put them on your list. Sacred circle. And then this name, that name, next name, and next name. And then with whom you feel like you are being your true self, and with whom maybe not so much, right? And it really, what the takeaway from this would be is, how can you grow in each role for yourself, where no matter what role you are in, you are not acting in it, you are being that role. You are being a mother, you're being a home caretaker or homemaker, you're being a wife, you're being a daughter, you're being a granddaughter, you're being a friend, and you're being your true authentic self in each and every role, but you're not acting anymore, which means that you're not trying, you're doing. You're not trying to please everyone. You are only pleasing yourself, and everyone else gets to benefit from you being you. And it's so much easier. Initially, it's hard because there is very little to no clarity of what that even means, of being yourself and putting yourself first and only pleasing yourself and not caring about anyone else. But once you start to open up that door, go down that rabbit hole, little by little, you will get there, and you will really truly understand the meaning of this truth within you, and it will become one of the things that you know, but that you know at your core, and you might not even know why or how. You just know. And once you know something, you can't unknow it. And then the last question I want to ask you is, what changes can you make to shift how you're being in these roles to move closer to your potential, which I already mentioned earlier. Thinking about how you can improve in each and every role to be your true authentic self, and no more pretending, no more trying to be someone for everyone, but really be yourself for yourself, and everyone else will benefit from that. And if they don't like it, well, heck, that's too bad, right? Because you're not living for everyone else. You're living for you. And the sooner that you start to understand this truth, that this is your one go at life, your one and only opportunity and chance to live life to the fullest, and also taking a moment to identify what living life to the fullest means to you as well. Chances are it's being your true authentic self, speaking your truth, following your truth, understanding your truth, and following your curiosities, exploring your curiosities, finding your purpose and the things that fulfill you, and that sense of fulfillment every single day until that is you, and living the life of adventure, and not feeling like a zombie, and not feeling like I just want to get through the day, or thinking or believing that in your core, I just want to get through the day so tomorrow can be here. In a way, it's like just rushing yourself to get to the end destination, but that end destination is not where happiness and joy is. Once you get off the ride, you're off the ride. You can't get back on it. And the sooner that we each understand that, the sooner we really start living your life and learning how to give little to no shits about others that are not adding to our fulfillment or our purpose of our life and our journey. Once again, I want to remind you that we're all here to master ourselves. And one of the parts of self-mastery is to eliminate all of our drains and amplify all of our gains. So anything that is draining your energy, draining you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, anything that is draining you, find a way to either eliminate it or get help and support. Because as mothers, sometimes we feel drained by our children. We can't eliminate those. No, we wouldn't even want to. But we can ask for help and support with that, so we don't feel so drained. And part of that is there's certain things we can't, like certain drains that we all experience, we can't fully eliminate. So what we can do about it is to spend the time to understand what and why, and reframe it in a way that is serving us. and then identifying all those things that are adding, that we're gaining from, that motivate us, inspire us, boost our energy, boost our confidence, self-esteem, just feel boosting, that breathes this life into us. Anabolic experiences, anabolic energies, and anabolic people. We want more of that in our life, and the more we focus on that, the more it will grow and eliminate or reframe all the drains. And part of that would be letting go and moving on, especially when it comes to people that are draining you and not adding to your life. And the biggest part of that would be forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself that you are, and this is what chances are you will be thinking, forgiving yourself that you are not a perfect person for that person, that you are unwilling to change who you are for their benefit. See, this is where the positive as well, right? Because you are unwilling to change who you are for their benefit, because you're not living for them, you're living for you. Forgiving yourself for not wanting or not needing them, and many other things that might come up. This is just the only ones that came to mind on top of my head for now. And yeah, I think this would be a great exercise, and let me know how this exercise was for you, especially if you did the exercise and you did it to your fullest ability, where you did the chart, you did the check marks, and you explained for each one why or how your true self shines, or why or how your true self hides. And then you went in even deeper to identify how you can shine more in each and every role. Just because you already shine in the role of a mother or in the sacred circle, how can you shine more? How can you improve that? Because there's always an area of improvement. No matter how amazing we are, we can always improve in something or at something. And then in the other one, how your true self hides, how can you improve your true self shining in that area instead of hiding? And yeah, so that is all that I have for you guys for today. This itty bitty exercise from the Law of Being, without sharing the actual pages, just sharing one little exercise that I went through when I did the program, and how different it feels revisiting it now, and revisiting it each and every time I take someone or a group of women through the Law of Being, because it's a little bit different, and yet it's the same. The areas that are different is my opportunities for growth, and each and every role is a little bit different, because the ones that I identified previously, I get to see and revisit how much I've grown in those areas, and some I continue to grow in, and others I accomplished and then they're replaced with newer ones, because there's always something else, right? As a mother, the one that comes to mind and I continue to go back to and improve each and every time I revisit this exercise is nutrition. That's challenging with kids. That I grew up in a world where there was very, very, very little processed food and not that many options. And my kids are growing up with practically every single food being processed, and educating them on the health advantages and disadvantages with everything and anything they put in their body comes with its own challenges, right? Because every kid, I know, but you don't know. So please listen. Some cultures live in a different way where they approach every single thing that they do as if they've never done it before. Every time they learn something, they go in with the mindset, I've never heard this before. I'm learning this for the first time, even though they've learned this many times. And they learn so much each and every time. Anyways, that is all. Thank you very much for all of you being on here with me. Looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you, especially you, Rebecca, since you were on here live, how this exercise was for you and if you did it or not. And if you didn't do it yet, you can watch this video again and do it later, or do it from memory. But I do recommend listening because there's certain things that you might forget, or getting clear words and then reminders, or I can't think of how I'd put it, where you're listening to something, it's like, oh yes, this is another way of how I can approach this question or this exercise, and then share with me how it was for you, how it went for you. So that is all for today. Thank you everybody for being on here with me. I'm bringing you the camera closer so I can see my my hair. It has a mind of its own today, and it's been a busy day, or busy morning. It's not even a day, and I got a few more things that I gotta do. And other than that, until I hear from each and every one of you, have an amazing the rest of your day and weekend, because we won't see each other until either Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for card reading, or Thursday for another one of these Get Your Shit Together, a weekly live guidance podcast videos that I do at 11:30 a.m. ish Eastern time as well. So until then, have an amazing the rest of your day and the weekend, like I said. Until then, bye.